Hi guys, how's it going? An exciting day for me. I'm heading out into the woods for an overnighter, as you can see from the backpack. So I'm pretty excited. I'll have to get through here. I haven't, you'll notice I haven't got Peanut with me. I didn't bring him this time because I'm going to be sleeping in a bivvy bag under a tarp, so I didn't want him getting ideas and sneaking off as he's likely to do at night while I'm asleep. So now I'm just heading off to find a spot to get the tarp up. It's looking like it's going to be a nice afternoon. Had some rain this morning, and hopefully it's going to be a dry evening. I'll bring you back in when I found somewhere to set my tarp up. All right. So I've arrived at my spot for the night. It's in amongst a range of sort of pine trees. There's a bit of birch, chestnut, some lovely views over there. And I'm going to be putting the tarp up between that tree and that one, I think. That's a chestnut. And so I'll be a lean-to facing in this direction and looking out over there. I had a little bit of rain again on my way in, a few spots, but the sun's back out again. So I'll gonna get set up and maybe do a time lapse, and I'll see you in a bit. A few of these to deal with, chestnut spines are everywhere. Okay, that's me set up. Took a bit of fiddling in the end. It wouldn't go where I originally thought between that tree and that one, but so I've moved it to a couple of smaller trees just behind. Certainly warmed me up doing that, and got my ground sheet in there. I've decided to double that up, just where the sleeping mat's going to be, because it's there's loads of chestnut husks on the ground which are quite sort of needly, and a fair bit of brambles as well. So let's take you in. That'll be the view out. I'm going to be in the dark a bit now, but hopefully you can see the view. That's awesome. Look at that. So got a little bit of tidying up to do. The first thing I'm going to do is get a brew on. So I've got the kettle on, just sitting here enjoying the beautiful woodland. You're under the tarp at the moment there. keep hearing, keep thinking it's raining, but it's actually pine needles falling on the tarp. Although there has been some rain. At the moment it's the pine needles on the tarp. You better see them up there. You see them all. Now I've had a cup of tea and a chance to catch my breath. I'll show you around camp. I'll have to spin the camera around first, so hang on. Okay, so there we are. I'll just that's where I came in. You saw me come in earlier on. Try not to move the camera too quickly on these pans, and that can be a bit fiddly. There we go. Look over there. Well, the sun's just come out, so try and not shoot into the sun. So standard DD 3x3, and I've just got a cheap ground sheet in there. You just saw me have a cup of tea, so I've left the firebox there. I'll be using that later. And there's my rucksack, still not unpacked. My Bushcraft Cyclops 2. I forgot to mention earlier, I've got the peak coming up to a branch on this chestnut here. Then I've got a nice little stump there. There's a table, or I'll need that later when I do my firewood prep. So yeah, one of the things I will do in a minute is I'll unpack that and show you some of the stuff I brought with me if you're interested. There's the contents of my rucksack, or most of it. Sleeping bag's not there at the moment. Just a quick run through. So starting at the top left there, that's my anorak and stuff sack. Bivy bag, Gore-Tex. Had that for a long time. And here's a Helicontex poncho, in case it rains, and it is forecast to rain and has been raining. And then that's my brew kit in there, using an old phone charger box. Spare fleece. Actually, that's a down jacket, a lightweight down jacket for later. That's a Trail Guard 50 roll mat. Haven't actually used that yet, that's new. It's replacing my old ultralight Thermarest. Pair of binoculars for doing some bird watching and wildlife watching. My gloves there for handling hot stuff. We've got Firebox Stove. You've seen that in action. It's fuel for the Trangia, Primus fuel, and the Trangia's in there. That pouch. That's my cooking pans and things. I'll be using those later to cook dinner. That's the water and the billy can, which I just made my tea in. Felco saw. I've had that for years as well. You can see it's a bit, blade's looking a bit dirty. There's my axe. That's a Halter-4's trekking axe, and that's just bits and bobs in there. So that's all the key things I brought with me today, and it's all packed into that old rucksack of mine. It's a Bushcraft Cyclops. Right, I've got jobs to do. I'll catch you in a bit. So that's my loadout. It's this is quite basic, but I forgot to mention that it's just you saw me unpack this earlier on, but the ground sheet's just a cheap tarp until I get something better. And last thing is this mat, which I'm kneeling on at the moment while I'm doing this. Pretty much carry that with me everywhere because it's kind of handy for sitting down, and you just saw the firebox in action. So yeah, I've gonna crack on now and get some stuff done. Okay, so all set up to light. Got everything ready. Got inside the firebox there's a few twigs, a bit of char cloth, and then down here I've got my ferro rod, another little bit of char cloth which I'll drop the spark into, some of that birch bark I collected earlier, and then twigs and then bigger twigs there. So let's go. bit of butter, homemade spatula. Don't want the fire too big because I'll burn meat. I'll do ribeye steak. Okay, this is nearly done. I've got a bit of mixed grained, pre-cooked mixed grain, which I'm just going to stick in the frying pan and warm up to have with the steak, and it's ready. Right, let's give it a try. Let me get a steak first. That's it, guys. Dinner's done, and it was delicious. So that was it was a ribeye steak and a mixed grain, pre-cooked mixed grain thing from Tesco's. I need to get the camp, get my sleeping bag and stuff out, still in the rucksack, and get ready for the evening. But for the moment, a little look round. Look at this. It's getting dark. Temperature's dropped quite a bit. But I don't think I'll be needing my down jacket. Very inviting fire over there. That reflector, I forgot to put that in the my little loadout thing. It was tucked away. But it's actually been really great for this because the wind was a bit stronger earlier on, but these pine pieces of pine are a bit more volatile. I wanted to keep everything contained in the in that circle. Didn't want little bits flying off. It's a bit of a fire guard, and it's reflecting all the heat back in, which I'm starting to need now. Still got some wood left after the after cooking. This is the bit in the evening that you just enjoy the sound of the fire, the crackle of the wood, and the last of the day's bird song. Got a kettle on from the last brew of the day. Thought as I'm surrounded by pine trees, I'd have a pine needle tea. So let's see how that goes. Here's my pine needle tea. I've never had it before, so I didn't know how many needles to put in there. I'll scoop them out in a second with the fork. There it is, guys. I'm in under the tarp now. Just gonna let the fire burn out. Drink my needle tea, pine needle tea, and I'll catch you all in the morning. Morning everyone. Oh, it was a lovely night. It's been raining a bit, and it's raining a little bit now, but other than that it's been great. Good night's sleep. It's probably the best part of an overnighter, waking up in the woods in the morning, I'd say. Birdsong was amazing at dawn. It's absolutely lovely out there, even with all the grey, and the wind's picked up too. I could just lay here now and listen to the birds and the wind. Morning view. Just adjust the exposure. There you go. The we've covered in needles. Look at that. That's what it's all about. Right, as much as I'd love to sit here and enjoy this all day, I'll crack on, get a brew on, get a cup of coffee in, and then I've got to start getting packed up. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so I'm up and about. Just put the kettle on there, and a little look round. The rain's eased off a little bit. Still kind of wet, but not too bad. Loving this. Looks beautiful. There's my camp. My chopping log. Take it over here. It's find I speak quieter when I'm in places like this. Look at that. Didn't bring you down here yesterday, I forgot. Tucked away. Here we are. Back to base. See the pine needles on the top. That was happening all yesterday. I thought it was raining, but it was just needles falling on the tarp, but they were sliding off. Now it's now the tarp's wet. They're all sticking. See how the breeze doing. Changes the light. So while we're waiting for the kettle to boil, I'll show you my sleeping setup, which I didn't get around to doing yesterday. I got a bit absorbed with exploring and fat wood and so on. But I'll flip the camera around in a sec and do it so that I'm out of the shot so you can see. Nothing you haven't seen before, but I just thought you might be interested. Alright, so starting off with the Bivi bag. It's a Gore-Tex one I've had for quite a long time. It's got a nice big kind of hood up there. You can stuff all your clothes and bits of kit you need to keep dry. And this L-shaped zip. Inside is a mountain equipment light line sleeping bag, which was a bit overkill for this trip, but I got my Softy 9 to bring with me on this, and when I was packing I checked it all out, and the zip was completely broken on it, so I've had to go with this, which is overkill, but it's fine. I just had all the zips open last night. And then under there is the Trail Guard, Roadlands Trail Guard sleeping mat, 50 Trail Guard 50, which is new. It's replacing my Thermarest. And then underneath all of that is just I showed you this yesterday, just a cheap tarp, just to protect the the Trail Guard. And the last couple of things I missed off of the off my loadout yesterday, which was quite important. I have a power bank here to charge that camera, my phone, and a head torch. And I did mention this last night, but this reflector as well. I've taken to carrying that with me. It's really handy for when it's windy. As I discovered last night, when the fuel's a bit volatile and it's spitting everywhere, it kind of keeps everything contained, and it helps reflect the heat back in, and keep you more hidden if you need that as well. So that's the three other little bits of kit that I forgot. Alright, let's see how this kettle's doing. so nice to just sit here and enjoy the peace of the woodland, listen to the sound of the rain on the tarp. A bit of rain in a woodland's quite a pleasant experience. It's a different story on the top of a hill or anywhere exposed, but somewhere reasonably sheltered. Even though I can see that, that it's windy because the treetops are moving, down here, ground level, it's quite sheltered, and the range just feels quite gentle. It's just very pleasant to listen to. So I've got the kettle on again. Just had my coffee and we have some breakfast now. So I'm giving these a go. It's as you can see that, it's just like a instant porridge, cinnamon flavour. Not tried them. Gonna give it a go, see what it's like. Right, so breakfast is all done. The porridge thing was very delicious. And I'm still got to pack up yet. Yeah, a couple of cups of coffee, some porridge, and I'm all set. So I'd quite like to do a time lapse of this pack down, but I think the camera would just end up with too much water on the lens. It's raining quite a lot at the moment. So I'm just gonna pack camp up, and I'll bring you back in when it's all when I'm all ready to go. On top of this tarp, bit of water pooling there. Design fault. I'll bring you back in a minute. Alright, that's everything packed up. Quite a useful little tip potentially. I rolled the tarp up in the ground sheet, and then the whole thing's gone into this, which is an old tent bag. So it's long and thin. The reason I've done that is because if I wanted to, I could strap that to the outside of the rucksack because it's soaking wet, everything's wet in there, and the ground sheet is protecting the fly sheet in case in case this gets snagged on a bramble or something on the way out. It means I don't have to put it in my rucksack and get the rest of my kit wet. I am going to put it in my rucksack today because I'm going home now, so I can just dry everything off when I get there. But if I was moving on to another camp now, or planning on setting up somewhere else, then I wouldn't want to be putting that in the rucksack with my dry kit, with my sleeping bag and my spare clothes and so on. The reason it's in a long thin bag is because then I can put the rucksack straps will go over it and it won't fall out, rather than it being narrower and fatter. And obviously I always pack this near or at the top of the rucksack, so it's the first thing to come out when I arrive in camp and the last thing to go back in the rucksack at the end of the day, like now. Alright, it's me all done. That's where I was, leave no trace. Sleep in there, and then I had the firebox and so on there. I'll chuck this chopping log I was using up there. I'll probably camp here again. It's a really great spot. That was my home for a fantastic night. Alright guys, so hope you enjoyed that camp as much as I did. It was a really good one, even though it rained overnight and today, but it kind of added to it. But if you're still here and you enjoyed the video, maybe consider hitting a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe to the channel. It'd be awesome. But for me, that's all for now. Just heading back to the car, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye bye.